Hello. Okay, good. I see that I have things on the VU meter and my speaker thing isn't isn't crossed out. Unlike for most of this morning's stream, it is August 15th. I am Rob, that developer dad, and I'm building a utility that's going to help me when I'm running my D&D games. And the players ask, what NPC names are and stuff like that, because I'm really, really bad at coming up with that stuff on the fly. And so we've made some decent progress. We've made some really decent progress. So we can generate a character. Um, yeah, I like that. So history is a soldier, is now a shopkeeper. We'll generate the AI description. I'll bring local LM up in the background on the screen here. Now, I do need to still disable the screen while the AI generation is happening. Yeah, Jethro and Cletus were pretty funny. They were a couple of bandits that I came up with just on the fly last night, but the two children that were rescued and their parents and all of the shopkeepers. Captain Catapult was pre-written as part of the module. Um, that guy's already fleshed out, as are Hal and Cendril. They're like pre-written as part of the module that we're running. But yeah, there were a lot of weapons shopkeeper number one and grouchy guy and shifty art dealer and so on and so forth that were not fantastic. So we've got Lily Halfling, and so we could save her and go back to our list. And I got to refresh because I need to do that when we navigate in. So what we're gonna do, that's something that we're gonna fix right now. And I really don't like that big long silliness there. So I want to try and get some of those things fixed today. I think the first thing I'm going to take on is automatically refreshing the townsfolk index when we load into it. So we will do that on show list clicked. And let's see. I think I need to put in a how will I route that event from the page to here? So let's view NPC details. That's coming out of here, out to the page model. And yeah. So let's start off by going into the view NPC list code, or the NPC list code behind, and see if there is. We don't want on after render async. We don't necessarily need empty table text. I think what I'm going to do is protected async task on page state changing and create NPC page states, new state. And this is FAFO. I'm fooling around and I'm going to find out. Async, changing, async, if new what did I call it? Golly, new state equals list. We are going to await execute filter. And then return out yeah. And this isn't a protected async task. This is going to be a public async task on page state changing async and I need to bind an event handler from a component to the main page. So we'll come out to create NPC. Let's see, thinking. So this is binding a handler owned by the page to an event that is out here. And did I determine is to view clicked this dot NPC list? Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's not. Let me think. I need a way to trigger something in the component when something in the parent page changes. So NPC page states, new state. Let me think. changing let's ask GPT, or we'll ask Copilot rather. In Blazor, dotNet 8, how can I bind an event raised by a page to one of its child components? All right, so delegate event handlers, yeah. This is callback for two-way binding. No, I don't want to propagate to the parent component. So parent component age, change get set age change dot invoke async age. That's not what I want. No. No. That's not what I want. Delegate event handlers are called only in components that adopt an interactive render mode. That's fine. Nope. Two-way binding. No, that's not what I want either. No. It's more like this. I have page, child 1, child 2, slash page. Like this, where page is a Blazor page and child 1 and child 2 are custom Razor components. Child 2 has a button that triggers a property change on pages model. When that property changes, I want to raise an event to child 1, notifying it that a property has changed. The property has changed, providing its new value as a parameter. And if it can't come up with anything cool, I'm going to put in a mediator. I am going to create an AirSats event sync if I have to. All right. That's not quite what I had in mind. So here's the page. Let's scroll up to the top. Parent component page. Created property, let's call it parent property that represents the value you want to track. Okay. When the button in child 2 is clicked and the property changes, update the parent property. Okay, cool. We're going to do that. In your child 2 component, define an event callback that will be triggered when the button is clicked. Pass the parent property value to the event callback. Check. Got it. Receive the updated value from the parent via a parameter. Handle the value change in your child 1 component. Receive value from the parent at parent property, parameter, public string parent property. Yeah. Okay, so what this is suggesting to me is that instead of going the really complicated, silly way that I'm doing things here, I can let's go to NPC list. New NPC handler, view NPC handler, current page state, and parameter, public. Oh, current page state. Duh. Now in my setter, so get is just going to be a vanilla get. Although I'm going to have to create a backing property. Ugh. Private and create page. Oh, come on, Rob. Create page. Create NPC page states. Current page state. And we're gonna get rid of the semicolon. Return current page state. Down here, we're gonna current page state is value and await execute filter. but only if current page state does not equal create page states dot list return. So we're going to do an early return on execute filter if our current page states is not list. Otherwise, we're going to go through that logic. Now, up here, await execute filter. Can only be used within an async method. Consider making this method. No, I cannot, because it's a property. Execute filter. Dot configure await false. What the hell? Let's see what happens. It'll either work or it'll die a horrible death. Stop. I gotta hook that up, I think. Maybe. Oh, stop it. Oh, yeah, because it's component or parameter. This may fail horribly. Okay, so that worked. Let's create a new one. So the last one on the list is Lily Halfling. So we'll create, yeah, just go for it. And it's thinking and working and thinking and working. This stuff is all rather foreign. Not, it's a lot less foreign to me than it was a couple of weeks ago. But because I'm learning the syntax for doing all of this stuff and all of the idiosyncrasies of Blazor and UI development, because it's been years since I've done any serious stuff, I'm very much hacking this together and creating a lot of technical debt for myself. And I do want to get that debt paid off soon, perhaps even next week. But it's running slowly through the LLM. You can see that it's working away, and we'll have an NPC back in a minute. And come on, I know. A watched AI never finishes. There it goes. That's a lie. So we'll save this. And we should see Eldritch Merchant out on our list screen, unless it dies a horrible death. And it didn't even fire. So let's see. I'm going to need to shrink the language model host. Drop this in here. Do this. Okay, that doesn't help me. Current page state is a parameter. Is that even linked in? It's not. Current page state equals at this dot page state. Save it. Let's see if this works. It's never going to execute the code if it never reaches it. All right, here we go. Current page state equals value. Go. And an unhandled error has occurred. The connection is closed. Oh, because it's trying to do two at once. So down here in execute, private bool getting list, getting NPCs, we're going to add another early return. Getting NPCs equals true. We're going to bounce. If we're already fetching, don't fetch again. If we're not looking at the NPC list, don't fetch. And then we scroll down. I'm going to pop that up. Guard. And I am going to set getting NPCs equals true. And we're going to collapse all of this stuff. Filtered NPCs.length equals 0, else throw new exception. And proxy result dot was successful. Getting NPCs equals false. I don't like this. This is messy. Getting NPCs equals false. Like, I'm going to come back to this code in 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm going to be like, who wrote this garbage? But I just want to make it go. But yeah, that's a not well documented, unmaintainable mess. And I dislike it greatly. So that value is changed. Let's go here. It's loading. I feel like it's just going to croak out on me. Oh yeah, it's totally just vomited. Okay. I gotta see what's going on here. I'm gonna put a breakpoint there. I'm gonna refresh the page. Getting NPCs is false. And it worked this time, so we had a timing error. Or it looked like a timing error to me. I really don't like the solution that I came up with the property stuff. Like, I hate it a lot. I really, really, really don't like it. I'm going to leave this early return in here. And I'm going to get rid of this bool because that's a hack. Get rid of this nonsense. Get rid of it here. Get rid of it here. And where the heck is the property? This is going back to an auto property. Get set. Now, I didn't want to do this, but I feel like it's going to be useful. So we're going to do it. I wasn't planning on getting into this for a good while yet. We're going to go up in a framework. And I'm going to add a new folder. In proc event sync. All right, so right now in our create NPC raiser, we are raising events out of our components and to the page, and we're tightly tying them to page handlers and so on and so forth, right? And it's all very tightly coupled and is kind of turning into a bit of a management nightmare. Because some of these are commands, or some of these events result in needing to issue a command to the page or one of its components, and some of them are just announcement, and those command type things are fine. It's when we want to announce to everything else that lives in the page that something somewhere has changed. So for that, we want to do, I feel like we need an event sync. So we're going to create one. We're going to use a similar concept to a message bus or say event grid or what have you, but we're just going to do it on a very, very small scale within our current compute process. So I'm going to create a class called event sync, and it's going to be public. And we'll create a constructor. What the heck? It's empty for now. Add class. Component event base. And we'll add it. It's going to be a public abstract. And a lot of modern developers are going to go, Rob, not an abstract class. And I'm going to say, yeah, it's an abstract class. Protected component event base, fine. And it is going to have a prop string name, and I'm going to say event name. All right. And then I'm going to say public virtual object args. No. No. Because this is abstract, I'm forcing inheritance on it. And there. Save. Excuse me. So we've got component event base. And thinking. Our event sync is going to have a private dictionary of type and a list of thinking. Handler base. We'll get to sync. I'm going to need to create a component event handler base. Add class. Component event handler base. It's going to be a public abstract. And I am thinking myself down a big, deep, dark pit. I really feel like I'm overthinking this. The component event represents an event that can be raised by components and is handled by other components. And I don't like any of this. No, I'm getting way too abstract. delete, get lost. That's way, way, way too abstract. Let's come out to components, page models, add, new folder, component services. Add, class, property change source. I'm going to follow the same concept that I was going down before, but I'm going to do it a lot more concrete. Internal, property change source. Property change source is going to have a class called property changed event. And it's going to have prop string property name prop object new value. Save. Ctor, and this is not going to be a class, it's going to be a record. Excuse me. String name, object, value. And property name equals name, new value equals value. And that's a capital N, silly. Here we go. Now, the property change source is going to have a collection of list of func that returns a task and accepts a property changed event. Handlers. Ctor, property change source, handlers equals new list of those things. Public void register property listener. And it's going to accept that. And that's a big, ugly thing to have to deal with. So I'm going to copy this and add a new internal class. And property changed handler. Async handler. All right. All we're going to do is not take in a list of those, but oh, it can't derive from the sealed type func. That's okay. Yeah. I was gonna try and wrap that type in its own thing, but apparently I cannot. That's okay. Handlers dot add handler. Boop. And public async task notify property changed async. And it's going to take in a property changed event notification. And I am going to I don't want to do a for each var handler and handlers because I want to do a task dot when all h nope handlers dot ugh. I've only done this a couple of times and it's not muscle memory. Stop it. When all there used to be a task parallel library thing. Var tasks equals handlers dot select h dot invoke notification dot to list, and I believe I need h dot invoke async. There is no h dot invoke async. How about just invoke? You silly goose. It's not a task of property. Come on, man. My head is stuck in my butt, and it's a smelly place. And it accepts a property change event and returns a task. I've made that exact same mistake a couple of times in the past couple of days. The output type parameter goes at the end. Task. All right. So now I have a list of tasks. And let's do it as an array. And then I can do that. And it's going to execute all of those tasks in parallel. So for today, that's enough. I'm falling down rabbit holes and I'm scatterbrained. And as my wife was walking past me to go do errands and stuff, she's like, "You need to take a break, dude." So I'm going to take a break. I'll be back tomorrow morning, but I am going to not do a whole lot more today. I'm going to post the video for this, and I might go look for some stuff for some jobs on LinkedIn. But other than that, I'm done, dude. I need to give my brain a rest, and I'll come back to this tomorrow morning with a fresh head. Resting your mind is very, very important when you're doing intellectually heavy stuff like writing software. Don't ever be afraid to be told, or hopefully eventually you'll learn to be able to tell yourself, "Dude, you've hit the wall. Take a break, walk away. Like, take the rest of the day off. It's a nice day. Go for a walk, do something else." But our minds need those breaks, and our minds need rest. And if we keep trying to push past that, my brain is turned into, rotten Swiss cheese point, we're just going to cause ourselves problems, and we're going to write a lot of code that we end up deleting anyway. So by all means, learn to recognize when your mind is tired. And if somebody tells you that it seems like your brain is tired, listen and take a break. I'm going to go do exactly that right now. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care of yourselves, folks.